Hey, Zach.
Hey, Alex.
And welcome, everyone, to the Pokemon Power Podcast.
Nailed it, guys.
Thank you. Well, that's a voice from a guest that we have today. And we do want to introduce our guest, but we have two very quick things to do before we get into our guest. Of course, we introduced this last week. Zach says that we need to make sure up front we ask for likes and subscribes. Otherwise, the algorithm doesn't work properly. So this is, of course, the like and subscribe jingle.
We all know that you guys you're only listening to the first 2 to 5 minutes. Everyone knows that. So
they're like, they didn't say to like or subscribe. We don't know what to do.
Yeah.
All right, you ready? You want to listen to this, Brandon?
It's another song. Get ready.
Like them, subscribe them, and follow them. Leave a review where you don't yell. Pokemon Power Podcast. Yeah. I told Zach last week I would not do this in front of you, and he did no pushing, and I decided to do it.
Was that like a late night writing session to come up with the jingle for that? Or
I think
something
it was maybe
that you
5
should
minutes
know
before
about
an
Alex
episode.
is every night is a late night writing session at his second job that he works as an overnight person.
Don't tell
really,
people how hard I work. We need
he's
people
just
to think
sitting
I'm a
there all
schlub.
night. No, you're not working hard at your real job. You're just sitting there thinking of weird jingles to sing. So
Yes,
that's really
that's
what
where my
this
brain goes
platform
all
is
day
for.
long. We would like to get into this to introduce our guest. We have one other thing we are required to do, a segment called Apology Time. Zach and I are humans. We err and we must own up to our errors, which today I need to address one that a viewer submitted, a person who wants to only go by the name Brian. They stated that I was wrong in the Snorlax episode. In the Snorlax episode, I said that a sperm whale is the largest mammal on planet Earth. It's not correct. The sperm whale is not the largest. The blue whale is the largest. Sperm whale is only 40 feet long, while the blue whale is 100 feet long. And we were talking about the weights of an adult sperm whale. Blue whale blows it out of the water. A blue whale is 110,000 pounds to 300,000 pounds.
It's a real thing that exists now, so that we can just be clear that giant monstrosity is a real thing. In Snorlax isn't that big.
Snorlax not that big compared to a blue whale. So as I would like to close out apology time, I'd like to say I'm sorry, and Brian was right.
I'd love to hear that. I know it.
Brian, you were right. All right.
In inverse letters, because I can't read it from here.
Is it correct or did I do it right? I put it for the listener. I put I put up on my TV screen behind me. Alex was wrong. Brian was right. Is it inverted or does it show up properly?
It's inverted for me.
did you mirror that yourself?
I mirrored it so that way it would work properly.
Yeah.
And then the record is doing it. The listener, this means nothing to any listeners. Let's get into the regular part of the podcast. We have a guest on the show today. Very excited about this. Clap, 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 clap. Brandon James Greer, how are you?
Hello, I'm doing well.
We're very excited to have you on. Brandon James Greer. I'm sure some people out there, you are a very... I want to describe you, but why don't you describe yourself? Who are you?
I don't know. I could go so many directions with that, but I guess for the context of this, I'm somebody who makes pixel art and pixel art videos on YouTube.
And I want to ask, you make pixel art videos and you start your videos off. You say that your name is Brandon. You make pictures out of tiny squares. Yeah. So let me ask you, Brandon, what's your problem with tiny circles?
Tiny circles? I think
you didn't
I've
realize
tried
we're going to ask the hard-hitting journalism questions here.
Yeah, no, I'm all about the squares. I like the way that they connect together, The circles, you just can't do it as much, so.
Sure. Well, pixel art is for those who don't know, when you're playing a game, especially some of these older Game Boy, Nintendo, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, old Sega games, the things that you're looking at on the screen are made up with tiny squares, as known as pixels. And that is what Brandon likes to do. He likes to make art out of those tiny squares, and he's very, very good at it.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you, you've been making these pixel art creations, placing them on YouTube, which you have quite a following there, but also on Instagram. And as you're getting a lot of attention, I wanted to ask, has anyone reached out to you about doing sprite work for their game?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
many times, all the time. Yeah. Yeah.
Any interest in that? Do you have a desire to do that? Is that kind of a hope for down the line?
It's always something that I've had in the back of my mind that I've sort of put off. The thing I like the most, and this might just be where I put my attention, but I just like creating new things all the time. Yeah. And anytime I've spent too long on a project, it starts to get a little bit stale for me. So I've sort of gotten in the habit of just like making my own piece, moving on, trying something else, and like just going through a bunch of different styles.
Sure.
A bunch of different like kind of art. And
yeah, because you do have I've seen your evolution throughout. If you watch your videos, I think and follow your Instagram, you can see your style kind of change as time goes on. One of the things I wanted to ask along that line is I noticed that you and a lot of people, I dabble in pixel art. I'm not a pixel artist. I'm a Pokemon podcaster first and foremost, but I dabble in pixel art, and a lot of people, myself included, and it seems like you included, start off doing pixel art by making pieces based on Mega Man.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think Mega Man is such a good starting point for people in pixel art?
So it is such a bizarre thing, but you're right. Like, it's such a common starting place. And I've thought about that. And I think the reason is because he's just such an obvious template for a simple sprite design.
Yeah.
Like his basic sprite where he's standing there like this.
He makes like a mannequin pose for the listener. Yeah,
you can just see like, oh, I can paste whatever outfit I want on that, or if I want to put a different hat on him or whatever. It's just, kind of a very obvious template, I think. Yeah. And because it's like a really simple sprite too, right?
Yeah.
If it were something more detailed, you'd probably maybe be a little intimidated and be like, oh, I don't know if I can change that around, but it's quite small. So
is a Mega Man style game, would you want to make something like that, platformer?
Yeah, I think that would be cool. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's always been like one of my favorite kind of games, the Mega Man games. And yeah.
As long as it's like 20 minutes long so that you don't have to devote that much time to it.
Yeah, exactly. One level and then I'm good.
I told Zach this, that I have a game idea. Maybe we'll do a Pokemon podcast game jam at some point. But I have a game idea, and the whole premise is that it's based around that you're only playing for an hour. And I thought that was good just from the standpoint of I don't want to spend too much time working on this.
Right.
Like, I hope that doesn't sound like anyone who makes a game that's an hour long is lazy. You're not at all. You're doing a great job. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Great.
So it's like, I think that could be successful. Like people would enjoy the competition of like, how far can I get with my allotted time?
Yeah. I'd love to do a game jam one day when Zach and I are Elon Musk-ish. I don't know where I'm going with this.
Super soon. Yeah, we're going to become eccentric billionaires.
That's a reasonable level to achieve before starting to make an indie game.
Yes. And once I raise that,
before I tackle something that complicated, I'd like to really solve your electric cars first.
Yeah, you want to have your own car line and sending rockets.
I wanted to ask, pixel art. I think for those who aren't familiar, it's so. I think it's a hard thing for people to envision. We've recommended you. I mean, I would highly recommend if you are interested in pixel art, check it out. Check out Brandon James Greer on everywhere. He's everywhere. But other pixel artists, anyone in particular that you would recommend for maybe people who are unfamiliar or people who just want to learn about pixel art that they could check out?
There's quite a few. Like I honestly would have a hard time recommending any single one or even a handful because it'd be to the exclusion of so many other great artists.
Right.
But if you end up on my Instagram or something and just check out the people that I'm following, there's a lot of great, hundreds of great pixel artists out there.
That's great advice.
And there's a lot of pixel artists that also don't necessarily put tutorials on YouTube, but make tutorials as little animated posts. And so you can usually find collections of those as well. That's the great thing about the community is that it's very I think very inviting. And because it's such a specific skill set, there is very specific material that you can find for tutorials and stuff.
Yeah.
I think the listener should really note how pro Brandon was at his answer because it makes you still go to his Instagram page. So I like that. That's super smart.
That's not what
I know a lot of people, and the best place you can find it is if you follow and subscribe me now. And
but that's like the representation of all the people that I know.
Yeah, it's all the people that you
I
like
follow.
and follow.
Those are the people that I know. So So
it's truthful and correct, but also very
actually
smart.
for the rest of this podcast, I'm just going to open up my Instagram and read off the names one by one. Can we scrap everything else that we had planned?
I've got to give everyone credit.
Yeah,
I thought you were just going to say for the rest of the podcast, you're not going to respond to anything. You're just going to show things you've already posted.
Sure.
Actually, I've already mentioned this before. Here.
Everything you talk about, it's like that reminds me of this one Instagram post that I made.
My post idea. Last question. Zach and I both started this show as a ruse to try and get Jason Schreier to talk to us. You don't happen to know Jason Schreier, do you?
No. Is he a Pokemon related person or?
He's how would you describe him, Zach?
I mean, I think every name that you say is some obscure person with video games or something that you really care about that's really famous for you, but also famous for no one else.
No, I'm open to it. I want to know.
Jason Schreier is, I would say, the leading video game journalist in the world today. And he's a very snarky Twitter follow, which I would recommend. But
you can find him on Twitter. If you follow me on Twitter, he's one of the people that I'm following on Twitter. So
I'll go take a look at your people.
Yeah, we'll make Pokepowpod follow him, and you just go to Pokepowpod and you'll find Schreier.
Exactly.
We like to do a segment on a show called Gotta Elucidate Them All. This is a segment where Zach tries to describe today's Pokemon. Zach, do you know what Pokemon we're talking about today?
I never do, and I never will.
Brandon picked this Pokemon out.
Oh, wow. So
what
he
kind
already
of Pokemon,
knows. I was going to say, I think
Brandon likes.
What kind of Pokemon? I mean, he's got some pretty great ones on his T-shirt.
Yeah, for the listener, Brandon bought a T-shirt to wear just for this show, which has the Kanto starters and Pikachu on it.
I mean, it's so classic. It's beautiful. The colors are great. And I was actually really nervous because after even just listening to one of his videos, he's so great at talking about stuff that I was like, man, he's going to immediately do really well. I thought we were going to have to, like a contest. He would describe the Pokemon and I would. The fact that he already knows is a huge relief.
He does know.
The bar is lowered exceptionally low for me now.
Well, he picked this out, and Zach, we're going to give you 30 seconds to talk about this one, to tell the listener at home who doesn't know yet. They don't know what Pokemon we're talking about.
Got it.
You got to do your best to describe this one. Let's bring them on the screen. And we got 30 seconds, buddy.
Oh, man. Okay, great. So what you've got here is a turtle. Imagine a turtle, but it was the cutest turtle that you've ever seen. And that turtle, instead of green, it's an adorable blue. It's got these big eyes. You just want to grab and give this guy a hug, and you just want to say, you're so cute. It's a turtle with a weird curvy tail. And you imagine that I can't say anything else because it's the name of the Pokemon.
You just ran out of time. And Zach, I got to ask, who's that Pokemon?
Oh, that's Squirtle.
Yeah. Brandon, you picked out Squirtle for us to look at today. We have a randomized order for the Pokemon that we talk about every single week, but you picked Squirtle. I gave you that honor as our guest. Why'd you want to talk about Squirtle?
I'm just a huge fan of the Squirtle Squad from the original TV series. Really? that was my reason.
For those who don't know, the Squirtle Squad, there was Ash's Squirtle that he catches after they get together. And then there is 4 other little Squirtles, and they all wear sunglasses. The 4 wear, I guess I'd call them round. Who wears round sunglasses that's famous? Albert Wesker, does he wear round sunglasses?
Morpheus?
Perfect. Yeah, they all wear Morpheus-like glasses, except for Ash's Squirtle, which wears Gurren Lagann style, they're pointed up to the side. They're like the coolest sunglasses possible.
It's so you know that he's the leader of the gang.
Yeah,
and by the way, they're a gang. Like, isn't that wild?
Yeah,
they are.
I was actually gonna say, you were saying like, who wears glasses like that? And I'm like gangsters in like Japanese like cartoons. I mean, that's like the only thing I can think of is like people don't wear it, but then like Morpheus, and I was like, oh yeah. And now I'm thinking, was Morpheus a bad guy? Was that they were trying to tell us with those little glasses?
We got to watch the 4th one when that comes out in 2021.
I don't want to.
So I think a big reason why they made him so cool is because like, I love Squirtle. I just want to get this out here. Squirtle was the starter that I picked when I played Red and Blue as a young man. Brandon, did you pick Squirtle as a kid?
I did, yes.
I think it makes sense. Squirtle is very cool in the show, and I think a big reason for that is the Squirtle Squad. Because if you read the Pokedex entries on Squirtle, He's not the coolest guy. They talk a lot about him being a baby, how he just shoots water out of his mouth. I mean, it's just like regular turtle stuff. And he's like, he's so cute. If you prod him, he'll bounce. Like, it's just like, all right, I get it. He's a little baby turtle. And I think the anime elevates him a lot. And I think knowing where he's going as a Blastoise element elevates him a lot. But I also think the 90s turtles were the coolest.
That's true.
I think they were like top animal in the 90s.
Yeah, coming
Ninja
off the wave of Ninja Turtles. Yeah,
Ninja Turtles. So it brings me to this. I wanted to do
turtles.
I want to do a segment. This is a new segment. We haven't done this one before. This is a segment called Pop-mon. Pop-mon is a segment. Zach, myself, and you, Brandon, we have all registered into. We've been going to the Pop High School, where all the pop culture icons are, and we see all the different people. It's the end of the year, and we're all the yearbook committee, and we get to put in the different titles. What's the word I'm looking for? Where it's
most likely to whatever.
The awards.
Yes. And we're gonna pick out most likely to be a famous turtle. Okay. And then Squirtle's coming to our high school. He's a cool guy. He wears his Gurren Lagann sunglasses. But we got
Definitely
other people
cool,
there who are also, we could put that title on them instead. We can make them the most famous turtle, most likely to become a famous turtle. And I want to see how he pairs up against these ones. So I'm going to bring up some famous turtles here.
So
you guys tell me if you think
is Squirtle against other cool turtles?
Should he be the prom king at Pop High School versus these other turtles? So I want to bring them on the screen. Let's start off with a good old man. I don't know if I should call him a good old man. Yertle the Turtle from Dr. Seuss's Yertle the Turtle. Who do you think should be the most famous turtle? Squirtle or Yertle the Turtle?
I'm easily going with Squirtle personally because I think this guy is like, if we're going full high school and I'm not judged for these reactions, this guy's not a cool guy.
Why? Why do you think Yertle's not cool? Because I think he's based off of Mussolini, by the way, if I remember my Dr. Seuss.
In this picture, he kind of he seems more stoic than that. He's very introspective, and he wouldn't be into the idea of being cool anyway, which actually makes him cool, ironically, but he's not in the running. Yeah.
No, we're doing purely like the bad version of cool, the cool that gets you all the votes. Okay, so not the truly inwardly cool. So Yertle, inward cool for sure.
Maybe. Okay. We're going popularity contest. We're going high school.
Popularity, he loses.
Yertle's not winning prom king. We're sorry, Yertle. Let's bring the next turtle up on screen. Filbert from Rocko's Modern Life. Who's going to win between these two? I tried to go, by the way, from least cool to most cool. If you're unfamiliar with Filbert, he is made to look as uncool as possible. And not only is he has a big hump of a shell, he's in a stance. This is the pose that they give him. This is his render. Is he just has his hands together pleadingly, as if please do not beat me up, bully.
You can kind of see him shaking, even though it's a still image.
I know. If this was a pixel, we'd be talking about how great its posing is, because it's given that feeling of how nervous he is. What do you think? Are we going Filbert or are we going Squirtle?
Squirtle.
Still
Honestly,
for me,
it seems like it's not even an answer. I would actually put him below Yertle, because Yertle at least looks confident in his life. This guy, he's just so nervous.
By the way, it is kind of wild that like yearbooks do this stuff, but like how much worse would it be if they ranked all the students from coolness? The yearbook comes out, you're like, I'm the second least cool turtle in school.
Who gave them the authority to do that anyway?
The principal.
Yeah, that's such a funny thing to have in high school, where it's like most likely. I guess maybe if they tried to name everybody, but they didn't. It was like the top coolest people get to be like most funny, most likely to whatever.
I won class clown.
There was more turtles.
And
really
you're
surprised.
like, these are all just people that are part of your Instagram feed anyway. So
right. All right. So Yertle loses. Filbert loses. Crush from Finding Nemo, very popular turtle, very chill.
Pretty chill, pretty cool. I feel
California
like he would do well in high school. Yeah.
Yeah,
well with the coolness, not well with the grades. I don't think.
Yeah, he's not getting the smartest kid. He's not getting high honors. I keep thinking MVP, but that's not what it's called. What is it called when you're valedictorian? That's what it is.
The old MVP. Should call most valedictorian person.
MVP. That's what it stands for.
I think Crush is cool among a certain group of people. I don't know if he's popular across the whole school. I think I'd still go Squirtle here.
Really?
My dad told me he knew who Squirtle was. By the way,
And that's how you judge who someone's cool.
I forgot I do have this for the listener at home. I'm showing a little Squirtle plush. This is my son's. And I guess if this was all my son voting on this stuff, Crush gets no votes. Squirtle gets 100% of the votes from my son. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm still voting Squirtle as well. I mean, he's cool, but I mean, he's just, he's a chill guy, probably a fun hang. But I mean, when Squirtle comes in with his sunglasses, you just know that confidence.
yeah, so a vote from me, a vote from Zach. Brandon, are you undecided here? We Squirtle won with the 2.
I mean, I'm already biased because I love Squirtle, but I feel like there's a debate here where there's a good chance for Crush. But
okay. Well, I keep trying to get cooler, and I don't know. We'll see if you guys think this one's cool.
I know that
Lakitu from Mario.
I don't know if I'd use cool, more like frustrating every time I've ever interacted with him.
No. Zach, you don't know your Lakitu lore. Lakitu's the guy who fishes you up in Mario Kart when you fall off the track. He's
that's
helpful.
True. If you have enough
that's
money.
pretty cool.
No, he gets you no matter what. He will take a percentage if you got some money, but he's not always taking your cash. If you're a poor man, he'll help you out.
I mean,
Squirtle.
right now here though, he's throwing a bunch of spiky balls.
I know. I grabbed a bad picture. He's throwing some spinies.
That's not cool.
Yeah, not cool.
Okay, well, I would say Lakitu is the cool guys, and like he's just at least Mario Kart Lakitu. He's like a nice guy. He's helping out. He's like shooting the Mario Kart footage. He's catching if you go off the stage. But here we caught him at a bad moment. He's doing some vandalism.
He's like behind the school somewhere graffitiing something.
Yeah.
No. But he's a
After
really
he gets
cool
a B
kid.
plus, he's like, those teachers don't respect me. Okay, so Lakitu loses. Crush, we think, is still maybe in the mix, possibly.
Yeah.
I'm bringing up what I think is almost certainly our most cool.
Yeah.
Raphael from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Raphael's the rude one, in case you don't remember.
Yeah,
The rude
I was
one.
expecting a Michelangelo on that last one. To be honest, yeah.
I don't know my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles well enough.
okay.
I do know that Raph is rude, and I do.
Michelangelo's the party dude, man.
Yeah, he's the party dude, and then Leonardo's the leader.
And then the other guy Donatello likes machines.
Yeah,
He's a smart one. He's the nerd.
Yeah,
You have the nerd.
he
the
does
angry-
machines.
He does
leader.
machines.
Yeah.
Do you think Raph, or I guess, do you think the Turtles can beat Squirtle? Do you think the Turtles are cooler than Squirtle is?
In my opinion.
In your opinion, I mean, that's all this show
Is
is.
it official? Okay. Officially, in my opinion, yes, for sure. The Ninja Turtles
Officially,
are
in your
cooler
opinion?
than Squirtle. Because, I mean, even at its best, Squirtle is still a baby Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I tell you what, though, I'd like to see like a crossover where he becomes like one of the Ninja Turtles.
All right.
Yeah.
That'd
be a fun hang. Yeah.
If you're a fan, if you're listening to this show, send us in your fan art of Squirtle dressed up as a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Yes.
And we'll post that up.
That'd be perfect.
Hashtag Teenage Mutant Ninja Squirtle. That's too long for a hashtag, but I'll look it up if you do it. TMNS, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But we
Perfect.
said Squirtle. Sorry, you just barely missed it. You almost were the most likely to become a famous turtle, but we went with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Sorry about that, Squirtle. We're all big fans, though. I normally do like to go through the Pokédex as we talk through this, but like I said, a lot of his Pokédex entries are pretty much like, hey, he's just like a cool turtle hanging around. I want to bring up two things. Brandon,
Yeah.
are you familiar with Pokemon categories? Not types, but categories.
I don't think so. No.
Well, Zach
It's-
knows
you
all the
could-
categories.
What
You
are the
could almost
categories?
for sure say no, okay? Because every time that Alex reveals these things about Pokemon, I go, that can't be real. And it is.
There's categories, which is essentially like if there's a Pokemon scientist out there, he is like labeling these Pokemon to be like, oh, let's put a really easy title on this so that way everyone knows what we're talking about. So for instance, Pikachu is the mouse Pokemon. Bulbasaur is the seed Pokemon, which Zach has a problem with.
It's ridiculous.
But then Cubone, that's the lonely Pokemon. And so it kind of goes away from animals. It goes away from like the world. And sometimes it goes.
Your response of is true because you go and you think, what were these guys thinking? Like types at least makes sense. There's like some kind of like purpose in
Yeah.
defining it. These
But
categories, there's nothing Some of them are animals. Some of them are emotions.
Are the categories though at least shared between certain groups of Pokemon? Like there are a whole group of lonely Pokemon, or is
there's only
Cubone
one
the
lonely
only one?
Pokemon.
I
There's
guess
only one
yeah.
lonely. I don't know why they. But there, yeah. Sometimes there's like, I think there's more seed Pokemon beyond even Bulbasaur. I think like Seedot might be a seed Pokemon. I think there might be a couple other that are mouse Pokemon. Squirtle is the tiny turtle Pokemon.
I mean, that's so specific though that it defeats the purpose of having a category.
I know.
Category is exactly what he is.
The Pokedex. I think the big part of this show is just us every week being broken by how weird the Pokedex is. That it doesn't make sense. But here's another thing that doesn't make sense about it. A tiny turtle. We talked about this with Spearow too last week. That it was the tiny bird Pokemon, and we realized it wasn't really that small. This is the tiny turtle Pokemon. Squirtle is 1 foot 8 inches. It's small. I mean, like you look
That's
at
a normal
big
sized turtle.
No, I would say normal sized turtle. The actual smallest turtle. Oh, and I know I'm setting myself up for an apology time where someone finds a smaller turtle and corrects me. But the actual smallest turtle, based on my Google search, is the speckled Cape tortoise, which is 2.4 inches.
What?
That's a tiny turtle.
That's a tiny
turtle. Squirtle, is he a squirt? Sure. Is he a turtle? Yes. Is he a tiny turtle? I don't think so.
No. And even compared to the other Pokemon, he's like the regular starter size, right?
Yeah. So I would say that part of it, I don't trust the tiny turtle bit, but he is small. I mean, he's not, you compare to Blastoise, and he's clearly a baby version of the turtle Pokemon there, which makes me a little hesitant that he has a move that he learns naturally, which is the move Skull Bash. Skull Bash, which is a normal move, so it doesn't really match with
classic baby move.
Classic baby move. Well, I just think like Skull Bash, and actually, if you remember it in the Smash Brothers games, we see what Skull Bash is, which is when Pikachu or Pichu, they have like a charge up motion. I'm like showing it for if you're a viewer.
It's beautiful.
But it's like a charge up motion. They get like sideways, and then they go, and they go flying across the screen. And they just bash into someone with their head. Mm-hmm. Now, I am uncomfortable about this baby turtle charging up and then shooting its head at another to fight something. That's not concussion protocol safe. I'm not comfortable with that.
It's a bit much. Yeah, we enjoyed, the small streams of water and like bubbles, maybe. I don't know, whatever. That was all good.
He has the protective shell even. Like if he hits something with his shell, we're all like, that's fine. We're good with that. Yeah. But Zach got up and left. That's how upset he was by that fact. Zach, thank you for coming back to the show.
Thanks. I'm back.
Thank you for not abandoning us.
Just completely.
We're going to do a segment called Cameo Kingler. And Zach, I actually told him a little bit about this. This is another new segment on the show. But obviously, Pokemon, the biggest intellectual property in the world. Did you know that, Brandon?
No.
It's bigger than Marvel. It's bigger than Mario. It makes more money than all that stuff.
Wow, that's wild.
I know. So, there's tons and tons of Pokemon products, merchandise, and of course, tons of games. And what I want to do is go through mostly games today and talk about whether or not our boy Squirtle makes an appearance in that game or not. We're going to keep track. Normally,
my answer is yes. My answer is yes on every one of them.
All right, we'll see. So we're going to go through these real quick. I'm just going to say the name of the product or the game, and you just give me a yes or no answer. I'll tell you if he's in it or not, okay?
Yeah.
Brandon, do you feel good?
Sure, yeah.
Are you going to win? Are you confident?
Yeah.
He's got the shirt on. He's got the shirt on, so.
You can hear the confidence, baby. All right, let's do Cameo Kingler. Very first one. Detective Pikachu, the movie. Is Squirtle in that?
I definitely saw the movie.
These are quick. I got a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes?
I'm gonna say yeah.
All right, that's a point for both of you. He is in the movie.
Okay.
Detective Pikachu, the game.
Yes.
Oh. I don't know. I didn't know there was a game for that movie.
There is a game.
I'm going to go with no.
That's a point for why did I put a J down? Because your middle initial is J. That's a point for Brandon.
Yeah.
He's not in the game. Does not make an appearance. Pokemon Pinball.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a point for both of you. He is in Pokemon Pinball. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Red and Blue.
Yes.
Yes.
It's a point for Brandon, point for Zach. Zach, you're down 1 point. I'm going to go through all the Smash games, and we're going to go through all the Smash games if he is in it or not. I'm not including him if he only shows up as a a trophy. Because if we include trophies, then we all have to say that Silver the Hedgehog is in Smash. And I refuse to say that. So very first one, Super Smash Brothers on N64. Does he appear?
No.
He does not. That's a point for both of you. Super Smash Brothers Melee.
No.
You're both wrong. He does show up as one of the floats, the very first float, I believe, on the Poke Float stage. Super Smash Brothers Brawl.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll go yeah.
He does show up in that. You're both correct. He's a fighter now. Super Smash Brothers for the 3DS and Wii U.
No.
Yes.
That's a point for Brandon. He does not show up in that.
He's so good.
They couldn't make his character work for some reason. I don't need to get into it. Super Smash Brothers Ultimate.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, that's another point for both of you. He's in that Super Mario Maker. Is he in Super Mario Maker?
Oh, wow.
No.
I'm going to go with no.
He is in Super Mario Maker. He's one of the palette swaps you can do for Mario. Pokemon Pinball Ruby and Sapphire.
No.
That's a point for both of you. He's not in Ruby, Sapphire, Pokemon Pinball. Pokemon Snap.
Yes.
Yes, he is. Good job, everyone. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Gates to Infinity.
Did you make that up?
I did not make that up.
Thing.
You'll be shocked by a few that we have at the end here. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Gates to Infinity.
I'll go with no.
Yes.
That's another point for Brandon. No point for Zach there. You have to make a comeback here, Zach. Super Mario Maker 2.
2.
Super Mario Maker 2. No from Zach?
No.
He is not in that one. That's a point for everyone. Brandon, you're doing excellent. I'm going to go through the main games real quick. A few of the main games. You have to tell me whether or not you can catch him naturally. Of course, you can trade him in. Can you catch him or get him naturally in that game without trading? Red/blue.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Or sorry, you said catch naturally.
Oh, sorry. You both understand what I'm saying here.
No.
Or you both understand the game, I guess. That of course he shows up as a starter, so yes, you can get him naturally. I guess I shouldn't have used the word catch. I just mean don't trade him. You can get him naturally.
Okay, so then
I'm gonna
yes.
give you both the point. That's on me. I should have explained that a little better.
It was on you.
Ruby Sapphire.
No.
No.
That is correct for both of you. Diamond Pearl.
No.
Yes.
That's a point for Brandon every time.
Just gotta try it. One of these days I'll get it.
X and Y.
Yes.
No.
That is 1 point for Zach. You can get him in X and Y. And Sun and Moon.
They don't know.
Go with no again.
Yes.
That's a no. Okay, that's a point for Brandon and Zach. For some reason, after I already started to say that he's not in it, continue to say yes, he is. And one last Pokemon game, so Brandon is going to win this, but one last one is Squirtle in Learn with Pokemon Typing Adventure.
I hope so, yes.
It's gotta be. Yeah.
I'm gonna say
Yes,
yes.
he is. Yes, he is. Good job, everyone. We're going to close this out, and if I'm wrong, you can correct me in apology time. Zach, you got 13 points out of 20. Yeah. And Brandon, you closed out with a dominating 17 points. Good job, Brandon.
Wow.
He's
Is
an
there a
expert.
prize?
You can come back on the show. If you don't win, that's we're setting that as a precedent for future guests.
Yeah,
if you do not win the game, you're out of here. We kick you out of the Zoom call after that.
Yeah.
They'll immediately try to lose. You're like, I gotta go. So 0.
All right. Well, we've reached that part of the show where we do the Pokeball Decision. Pokeball Decision is a segment, of course, where we decide what kind of Pokeball we would use on this, what it's worth to us. So we're not taking into consideration rarity, just how badly do we want a Squirtle. Do you want a Pokeball, Great Ball, Ultra Ball, Master Ball? You do also have the decision to flee. And Brandon, you do have the option to throw a rock at it. I would say don't do that. Where would you guys come in, Zach?
But you're making it sound so bad. But here's the thing: you don't want to throw a ball at Squirtle. That's fine. But like, think about some of the other Pokemon that there are.
So,
there's
for instance,
probably at least one
would
you
you
want to
throw
throw a
one at a
rock at.
Slowpoke? Would you throw one at a Slowpoke there, Brandon?
What?
Would you throw a rock at a Slowpoke?
No, I would throw a rock at
Of
any
course.
Pokemon.
Who would
Think
do that?
about this.
Who
Think
would throw
about
a rock
this.
at a Pokemon?
Think
All right, we
about
have to
this,
move on.
though.
Zach,
He
we have to
can't
move
respond.
on.
It takes him like 5 seconds to respond to anything. Okay.
Zach, what do you want to do for the Squirtle? Do you want to do?
Squirtle?
Yeah.
I'm doing Ultra Ball.
Oh, tell me why.
I mean, number one, he's adorable. Number one, he's one of the starters of the two
That was
that
your
I would
number
ever
two?
choose. He was my number 2 choice because I was always a Charmander guy because fire is cool, but water is also really super cool when you. But again, I would want him for what he becomes because I think Blastoise is super cool.
Sure.
But Squirtle also is great and adorable. And, he really puts himself out there, I think, trying to bash everybody with his head, his little tiny baby head, and doing headbutts. I think that shows commitment. And he's super cool. And I want to really level up my coolness level when I'm walking around with him.
Great point. I think you got me there too, Zach. I was leaning on Great Ball, but I'm going to go Ultra Ball like you were saying, because, we just established outside of like having, Michelangelo from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I mean, Squirtle's like as cool as you get, man.
He's one cool turtle.
He's one cool turtle, and I got to pick up some cool points. But I do like him a lot. I think, like I said, turtles were very cool in the 90s, and whether it's nostalgia or not, I still think turtles are quite cool. I have always picked Squirtle as the starter when I played Red and Blue, or when I played. You can get them in Heart Gold, Soul Silver. You get to choose one of the starters. I'm just saying, every time I had an option to choose Squirtle, I chose Squirtle, and I want to choose Squirtle today. I'm giving him Ultra Ball. Brandon, what about yourself?
Is that the highest rank? I'm not like a ball expert here.
You can choose Master
so.
Ball. You can choose Master Ball, but by that, you're basically saying he's your favorite of the original 151, which is fine if that's where you're at.
I think I'm going to have to put him there. It's too strong of a tie.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I chose him for the episode. He's getting the Master Ball.
Whoa.
And he's not getting evolved either. He's staying Squirtle. Yeah.
Wow.
I will. All right. We can talk about War Turtle another time, but yeah, I agree with that. That's a great stance. I'm very happy to see that we got a Master Ball taken out here. Well, that's not how we close out. We do close out with the Pokemon Power Ranking, what we've named our very show after. And in this, we're going to rank him against the other Pokemon we've talked about so far. Here's the list so far for those who don't know. In 8th spot is Slowpoke. 7th spot is Jigglypuff. 6 is Spearow. 5 is Cubone. 4 is Victory Bell. 3 is Kangaskhan. 2 is Primeape. And 1 is Snorlax. And I know that I've said that Squirtle is my favorite of the original starters. And you may just think, well, Alex is so biased now. He's going to try and put Squirtle in the top spot. I just want to show this. I also have a Jigglypuff plush, which is my daughter's. And, I put Jigglypuff in the 7th spot. I fought to put her as close to the bottom as I possibly could. So I'm not, I can take myself out of my bias to see where I think that a Squirtle should rank.
Okay.
Any thoughts, any initial thoughts as we talk about the Pokeball or Pokemon Power Ranking decision?
Well, as you referred to the Pokedex, we know that this is actually just a baby.
He is a big baby.
And so it's hard to necessarily say that he's that powerful on his own. I mean, a lot of his early moves are just bubbles.
And then when he uses that Skull Bash, you get concerned for him.
Yeah, I mean, he probably is like immediate confusion. I don't know. But I mean, I think we should hear from the Master Ball user himself. I mean, where is this Pokemon falling in a power ranking up against? What's the top 3 for us right now?
If we're not able to bring in, extra ideas like the Squirtle Squad and just sort of like their approach to, their gang activity and all the powers that they had together and just focus on a single Squirtle because they're at the top as a gang, but as a single Squirtle, I don't know that there's not a lot to compete there. I don't think, if I'm being honest.
I got the list in front of me. I think that Squirtle should go above a Spearow, but below a Cubone. So I think he's going to take the 6th spot.
Why below Cubone?
We've talked about this. He is
because
Cubone
he's angry and lonely.
Sad. Well, he's not angry. He's sad.
Yeah.
But he has that bone that he carries around. Like if you knew anyone who had a club that they just carried around everywhere, you would not go out of your way to get in a fight with that guy. And he could look very weak, but you still
we're talking about Skull Crush as well, he's literally wearing a skull too. So you can't beat a guy that has 2 skulls with one skull.
He can only use that Skull Bash once, and I mean that Cubone's going to be angry, missing his departed mother. I don't know why we talk about Cubone's dead mom every single episode. Yes, that is what the skull is.
Wait, is that canon?
That is canon.
Really?
That is canon. Yes.
That's so dark. That got dark really fast.
Then it makes you think. What's that bone from?
Great point, everyone.
So you're right. No, he would be. Squirtle would not be able to fight that little guy. I think when
when it comes to Tiny Turtle versus Tiny Bird, I think I got to go Tiny Turtle. I think Squirtle above Spearow.
He's got a shell. He's going to hide in there.
And does anyone have an argument against this?
I think we're 100% for it.
Yep.
All right. So our new list: Snorlax number 1, Primeape 2, Kangaskhan 3, Victory Bell 4, Cubone 5, Squirtle 6, Spearow 7, Jigglypuff 8, and Slowpoke. You got to get a faster response time, buddy. You're number 9. You may be treated like a god by some, but not by us, as we learned in our Slowpoke episode. We're as closing on our show. I wanted to say, Brandon, you have a great library of videos. Do you have anything in particular you'd like to promote outside of course, your Instagram, where you told everyone to follow you? Anything you'd like to promote? Anything you'd like to bring up? We're very thankful you came on the show, obviously.
No, not really. Well, actually, I should promote one video that I have, which is the sprite analysis of the original Game Boy Pokemon game. So that's where we overlap, I think. So that would be a good one for people to check out.
I was going to bring that up, actually. Right, I wanted to bring that up around here. I noticed that the sprite analysis, top-down RPG pixel art, Pokemon in parentheses, it's your 4th most popular video. I looked this up. It's your 4th most popular. It's your most popular one on a particular game. So I think, maybe a sequel.
Yeah,
it works. Get a lot of views.
See, that's the thing, because that one I just focused on the sort of top-down, like town map pixel art and the people sprites and all that, not the actual like Pokemon monster sprites in the battle scenes. That's what a lot of people had commented on that, like, oh, you should do like the actual monster sprites. That's a great idea. I love just the look of like when you're walking around in that game. Sure. And so that's why I focused on that. I think there's a lot to learn from that. But yeah, there's so much to go into with the Pokemon games for pixel art. So, well, hopefully, we're all excited to see whatever you want to do next. If that's something I know I'll be tuning in. Anything else you want to say in closing, Brandon? No, that's about it. Thanks for having me, and we're so happy to have you on. It's always cool when like different interests like this can overlap somehow. So yeah, very happy to have you on. Zach, anything you want to say in closing?
I think that we all agree that Squirtle's a really cool turtle, and I think, but I think what we mentioned early on, Brandon, what I like to do here is really just give a really good life lesson at the end here. And I think clearly what our lesson is coolness comes from the inside, and if you're a Yertle the turtle, it's okay. Not everyone can be a Squirtle, but there can be at least 4 Squirtles. So find your Squirtle gang and just be cool together. And I think, guys, especially everyone that's in California that'll never go back to school for the rest of their lives, find your online Squirtle gang if you can. I think we all agree. I wish that he was more powerful, because I would rank him far higher on a coolness scale, maybe even top 3. And that's my words about Squirtle for today. Great final words there, Zach. Way to bring up politics right at the very end of the show. I mean, I guess it is technically politics. I mean, it's schools. I agree with Zach. I agree with Brandon. I was very happy to talk about Squirtle. And let me just say, when it comes to squad goals, I think Squirtle Squad is really high up there for me. And then one other fact I want to say about the anime, and this might be a good way to kind of close it out. We all agree Squirtle's a mafioso. Yeah, he's a gang member. Yeah, but what happens to the redemption, though? I think we haven't recovered that yet. That's this is what I was going to say. You can say what the redemption is. Oh yeah. So after, I believe it's Team Rocket attacks as they do, and the Squirtle that eventually becomes ashes witnesses his own sacrifice. He like dives over him like he's covering a grenade or something. Yes. Yeah. Yes, to protect him. And that's what sort of broke his I got to leave this gang life thing. This is not for me. This is not cool. Well, another life lesson. Another life lesson from Pokemon. But the rest of the Squirtle squad saw that same sacrifice, and you know what they all did? They all became firefighters. This is true. In the Pokemon anime, all the rest of the Squirtle squad became firefighters, and eventually Squirtle rejoined them. So if you're in a gang, to all our gang member listeners, you can make that change in your life. Just go to your local fire station. Tell them. I don't know how to close this out. I don't think you know how people become firefighters. That's how. I mean, it's that. If you show up and say, "Give me a job,"
I mean, yeah.
What are they going to do?
In the
they
show,
take babies there, right? If you want to adopt a baby, you can always go to a fire
You
station.
just drop it on the front porch. It's the same thing to get jobs. You
That's
just
what
gotta
happens
sit on
in
the
my
front
brain,
porch.
by the way, is that's how you adopt a baby at a fire station. You just like leave him walk away. Anyway, I don't know why we got so dark at the end. Talking about so many serious things. As always, the Pokemon Power Podcast would like to thank Bulbapedia.bulbagarden.net, Cerebi.org, and Dr. Lava YT. If you'd like to learn more about Pokemon, those would be great resources for you. If you'd like to ask us a question about next week's Pokemon, submit a game, or just keep up with the podcast, you can find us on most social media platforms at Pokepowpod. If you're watching this on YouTube, we would ask that you like and subscribe, and it helps our channel grow. And if you're listening to the podcast, please subscribe via your podcasting app. Once again, that's very helpful for the podcast. And we would like to say, I don't know if Brandon, if you want to join us in this, but we would like to say, if you were a Pokemon, we'd choose you.
Yeah, we would.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.